it was more the mainland. It was more the mainland, so from Tromsø and around this area, where we got in the water and were snorkeling with orcas and doing like behavioral studies. And I just got really fascinated by, connecting with people beyond my existing, expertise, and then together having a common voice and raising awareness. So that's why I'm joining this expedition. I'm also doing a lot of music, amateur music. I play violin and piano, and I'm going to bring my violin on board. So I was just talking to Michael about how I might be able to join the music group and help to bring the score to life.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm looking forward to meet you in person.
Yeah, me too, for all of you.
Melissa, are you there? Hi, Melissa.
Hi, everyone. I'm here.
You have not. How was your retreat for 2 weeks of not talking to anybody?
It was great. It's so nice to meet everyone, and it's so nice to see your face again, Michael. Not speaking to people is great.
All right. So you make up for speaking of people for the next one. Anyway, Isidora, meet Melissa. Melissa, that's Isidora here. So the two of you are the taskmaster. If you have listened to the recording, have you listened to the recording yet, Isidora? Yeah.
No, I've been sick since I came back home.
Okay. Anyway, you two of you are the taskmaster, so you can walk around, bring around your cane, and so you can chase everybody to give you all the recording.
Very nice. Melissa, go ahead. Tell us a tiny bit about yourself.
Oh yeah. I primarily use social media. It's just the same as you guys to communicate, but also to plant that seed in people's minds to say that it's not really the activist. Everyone's an activist. I mostly do sustainability in fashion, climate activism in the hands of the people, and I actually just run down all the little rabbit holes that I'm interested in.
Very nice. And we just had Anne joining us. Hey, Anne.
Hi, this is Esther. Yeah.
Hi, Esther. We haven't started with the workshop yet, but since we're waiting for a few more people to join, probably, we just had a small round of introduction. So if you'd like to go ahead and tell us a tiny bit about yourself.
Well, I've been in the sustainability area for 30 years now. And was very happy to be at Antarctic climate expedition with Sylvia and Michael. And this is another one I'm looking forward to. Yep. So coming back, I will stage another exhibition at the national level at our Net Zero CDL Green Gallery at the Botanic Gardens. That will be the version 2 of Melting Ice Sinking City. Yeah, so looking forward to it.
Very
Hi,
nice.
Lisa, how are you?
Great to see you, Esther. You look great.
Actually, not so great. I just came back from KL 3-day conference, and today another event. So but it's okay. Yeah, I caught up with Mike last week at the ADEX. Yeah.
Oh, it looks so fun.
Lovely. So we're only 2 minutes in. Michael, do you want to share something else before we get started? We can't hear you.
A few people are trying to log in and they're having issue logging in. I'm trying to clear, but I don't think I can do anything on my end. I think it's where they are that have issue logging in. But anyway, I think we'll do an on-time start in 3 minutes, and it's recorded anyway. And those people in New York, I think it's early morning, or in San Francisco, it's early morning for them. So, Anyway, moving forward very quickly, I think right now we are at a stage that we have to close up all the expedition members by the 22nd of April, because there's 2 months out. So the expedition bulletin will be coming out to everybody in the next 5 days or so. I finished clearing it. So that bulletin is very important because there's a few things to sign off, and we'll give you everything that you need to know, or for the trips. And as we mentioned during the last briefing, the chartered flight is confirmed. So it's best that you do arrange your departure time to be on the 6th of July from Oslo instead of the 5th, because by the time you get into Oslo, it will be about 5 to 6 p.m. So I don't think there's any flight going out that late, unless the flight goes out after 7 p.m. That's fine. But otherwise, the charter flight is confirmed. Other than that, stand by for the bulletin, and then sign up for all those forms, and we should have it all clear as soon as possible. And Tobias, you there? So for the diving bit, you have there are forms to be cleared. I mean, I know you can show your pictures, but the formality you have to. There's a lot of few forms to clear your for diving experience, and Isidora for you as well. We're still trying to get that boat to bring you to the ship on time. So leave that with us.
Yes, that would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry that I can't make it earlier, but this is the maximum I can push out from everything and everybody involved. So, but I think it will work out. I'm very keen and to do this.
So, all right, everyone. I think what we do now, we're going to start the recording has started. So Isidora and Melissa is the taskmaster for social media and for these expeditions, and Isidora is very experienced in doing this, and she's going to give a workshop session right now for the next 45 minutes, and to help you to design to create your posts and your media during the trip. So Isidora, please take it away. I think screen sharing is enabled, right? So you'll be fine.
Yes.
Yeah, please go
I
ahead.
have started sharing the screen just because we were testing it earlier, and I have left it that way. If you're not seeing anything or if there's any technical issue, just please let me know. Yes, I would then now start by introducing myself. I am Isidora. I'm originally from Bulgaria, but I currently live in Germany. And I am going to be the key person for social media on our trip. And today I would like to talk to you about the power of social media and how literally anyone can use it to create an impact. And I would like to start by actually telling you a bit about the structure of the presentation or our workshop. I would like to focus half of our time on bombarding you with information, and the other half make a bit more interactive and have a bit more questions. But by all means, feel free to speak up at any time. And if you have questions, we can also address them throughout the presentation. There's absolutely no problem. We are currently a very small group, so we have the luxury of actually having a conversation throughout the presentation and throughout the workshop. So, social media is perceived by many as something a bit abstract, a bit naive, a bit too much, a bit generational, but I would like for everyone joining our expedition to see social media as a tool, as a very, very, very powerful tool, which can be used to communicate anything and to spread any message. So I would like to very briefly look at it works. Okay. Look at the market size of social media. Just to have an idea, I'm not going to go into these details, but just in the last year, the size of the market has grown by 30 billion. This is massive. This is crazy. More than 5 billion people on the whole planet use social media. And the trend is that this is going to be increasing with, of course, the increase of internet and the increase of smartphones and the increase of having accessibility to technology. So there are many platforms which are absolutely massive. And of course, the presence of these platforms has revolutionized the way people consume information. Not only the way people consume information, but the way people do research. And I'm not exaggerating with the word research because, okay, just admitting someone. I'm not exaggerating with the word research because statistics show that 70% of people decide what their next holiday destination is going to be based on short videos which they watched on social media. So being so big and being so immense means, of course, there is enormous competition. And irrespective of the industry, irrespective of the branch, irrespective how you're using social media and what you're using it for, whether it's for your business, whether it's personally, whether it's for an organization, it doesn't matter. Everyone is competing for exactly the same thing. Any guesses? I'll let you know. Everyone is competing for attention. It's an absolute race. Who is going to produce the content that's going to grab people's attention? And once you have realized this, the most important thing to actually have in mind is, apart from what you're competing for, is what you're competing against. Slides up, here we go. So it doesn't matter if you are a photographer, you're not competing only against other underwater photographers. You're competing on a global level. It doesn't matter if you are a small business, you're not competing against businesses in your area. You're not competing with businesses in your region. You're competing literally worldwide. And not only are you competing worldwide for everyone in your industry, you're competing with every single every single person's interests and hobbies. People go on social media because they want, let's say, an enjoyable experience or to disconnect themselves a bit from the world. So the content you're putting out there is competing with all the interests and all the hobbies, not just your niche. You have your niche and you can put that aside, but then there are funny cat videos, do-it-yourself projects, news, cards, sports, cooking, baking, cocktails, skiing, anything you can think of, you're competing against all of that. And because social media is such a big market, there is immense competition, and creating social media content becomes very time-consuming and very, very frustrating. So what I would really like to do with you today is to break things down in a way to make it very comprehensible, take away this frustration, and show you how you can start creating content or create better content and be able to share a message and spread your passion. And with these tools, or with this simple strategy which I want to share with you today, you're undoubtedly going to raise awareness with your message. So the very first thing you want to start with and do is actually sit down and analyze how you yourself are using social media. What is it that you like? When you scroll, what is it that stops you scrolling? What is it that you click like on? Or what type of content provokes you to write a comment? Do you read the captions? what is it about this photo or video that impressed you? Is it, what is the content that you save? What is the content that you send to your friend? How is it that you use social media? And this is the very, very first and most important exercise that you want to do, because if you're using social media in this way, it's very likely that many other people are thinking exactly the same way and processing the content on social media exactly the same way. Now, the second best exercise you can do, if you can, is just sit next to someone, ideally a friend, and have them just scroll through social media and watch them without saying anything. Just watch how they scroll and analyze. Where do they stop? Why do they stop? Of course, you're going to have different interests. It's not going to be everything identical, but where do they stop? Why do they stop? What made them laugh? What made them shocked? What made them appalled? What provoked some sort of emotion? So once you start understanding that, you're going to, once you do this a few times deliberately, you're going to start doing it automatically at the back of your head. Every time you watch or you see something on social media, you're going to start analyzing it. And this is where you start building your strategy or figuring out what it is that you want to do. So step number one is analyzing, and then you're going to build a pool of inspiration for yourself. So I would like to now break down the key elements of viral content. But before I do that, I just want to give you a few credentials from my side. I specialize in content for scuba diving. And I work with the biggest names in scuba diving. I work with Paddy, I work with Scuba Pro, I work with Dan, I work with Insta360, and I create content for their channels, or I create content promoting their channels and products on my account. Excuse me for a second. So I am an absolutely, I would say, ordinary and average person. I studied economics, I studied management, I studied finance, I studied marketing, but social media was self-taught. So in the last year, with my self-taught knowledge, which I'm now going to share with you, and everything that I have managed to learn through analyzing social media, I have managed to get more than 100 million views on my account. For reference, the Paddy account, which is one of the biggest ocean accounts, it's not only focused on scuba diving, but it's ocean love, has 130 million last year. So the point which I want to make here is that creating viral content can be luck, but this is a one-time thing. But you can structure anything you put on social media in a way to give it the boost to go viral. So the best performing videos on social media have a few things in common. They fall into one category or another. So the first thing is they're either trending. Social media is very fast moving. There are a lot of things going on, and people it has given a stage to every single person with a smartphone, which is basically everyone, to put themselves out there and share stuff. So once someone comes up with something interesting and cool, it becomes trending, and many other people copy it. So one way to get a foot into social media, once you start consuming quite a bit of content in an analytical way, is to see what's trending and hop on that trend. Do it. See how you can adapt it for yourself and for the message that you want to show. Then the next thing is content that goes viral is very relatable. People watch that content and they say, oh, that's me. or, oh, that's my friend, and I send it to a friend. So you see how it works? People identify themselves and then they share it. Then other people identify themselves and then they share it. So usually we have this content which is quite emotional or shows struggles or shows fails where people can just say, oh, that's me. Then we have educational content like news or useful tips, anything that people would save. Something that they will say, okay, this is useful information. I want to remember this, so I would save it. Of course, people go on social media to just disconnect and get distracted. So something that works very, very good are memes and insider jokes. So once you have understood your niche or the people you're talking to, this can be also a very powerful way to communicate messages which are very serious, but they are difficult to communicate in a way where it doesn't draw people's attention. So I'll just give you one example. I do a lot of content for an insurance company. And no one goes to social media to sit down and be like, oh, okay, let me see the latest incidents and what I'm going to do to prevent them from my side. No one does that. So my challenge was to find a way to take this safety aspect and convert them in a way of provoking thought into people and letting them identify themselves without saying, well, this is what you do wrong. My approach, for example, for that is to make it in a humorous way and say, well, these are my struggles and these are things that have gone wrong when I go diving, and people identify themselves. And then we can actually start the discussion on safety, for example. Excuse me. Another aspect of viral content is very beautiful and very picturesque content. These wow scenes. This is a very amazing way to capture people's attention, combining visuals with maybe even with a nice audio. However, unless you're in a place where you have constant amazing scenery or wildlife encounters, this is unsustainable. So when you're building your strategy on social media, this is, as I said, unless you're, for example, I don't know, a ranger in a very remote place, or you are non-stop on expeditions and see super amazing stuff, and these encounters are, of course, never guaranteed because we're not going to the zoo. This is something where I wouldn't put the whole weight of the strategy on. Then we have motivational content, which is basically supporting the viewer. What is it that I can communicate to make the viewer feel, apart from relating themselves to a struggle, to just give them support and tell them, hey, it's actually okay. These things are normal and you have my support. And then you start some sort of discussion. So this is a nice overview, in my opinion, of the things which are key to viral content. When you build your strategy, when you decide how it is you want to communicate, you can pick one of these directions, but you can also do a mix. Not all your content needs to be relatable or educational, but you can do a mix of everything. You can do some funny things and you can do some educational things. If you see something spectacular, you can share that as well. The point is to stay focused in what you're communicating. So it is people who would start following you, they would follow you from one specific thing they've seen, which is something that they like. But if the content is very scattered, so to say, they will not relate to the rest of your content. So if you had one amazing wildlife encounter and you got many wildlife enthusiasts, but the rest of your content is about cars, you won't be able to engage them with that. So I hope you understand the point I'm trying to make within staying focused. So before I move on, I would like to ask if anyone has a question. Anybody? Okay, then let's continue. As I said, feel free to interrupt at any time. So I touched on this topic a bit from the previous slide. Is after you've analyzed how people use social media and how you use social media, and after understanding the key elements of viral content and of good content, the next thing you want to do is identify your target and try to actually stay fixed on this in order to have a more impactful presence. So whether it's going to be beautiful content, corals, whether you like turtles, whether it is the polar region, whether it's coral conservation, whether it is sharks. And as I said, it can also be a mix because these unite in ocean love. The question is, after you identified all this, is now how exactly are you going to translate your passion to give a voice to the ocean or to give a voice to wildlife? And there are many ways of doing it. You can, of course, photography, videography, all of these are very powerful and can be combined. But in order to actually be able to give a strong message, there are a few super important things which you would want to consider. So the first one is, how do you catch people's attention? How do you make them stop scrolling? When you do the exercise of figuring out how people use social media, it is very important that the beginning of your, let's say, video, and I will take videos now as an example because this is the content that goes extremely viral at the moment, and I would like to have, or I would like to see more of that because it gives a different way of storytelling. And this, I will focus this as another example for my presentation now. So what is it that happens either in the first second or in the first 3 seconds of that video that makes people stop scrolling? You can't have content where nothing happens. Your content needs to be cut in a way exactly to start from the highlight. If you have a very nice 20-second video and the highlight is at second 10, no one is going to watch it until second 10. What you want to do is start from the highlight and ideally include only highlights, because you want people not only to watch your content, not only to stop scrolling and watch your content, you want them to watch it more than once. So, very important, the first seconds of the video need to have a catch. Whether it's something you say or whether it's something you do, like a visual catch, you need to plan your content very, very deliberately in a way to make people stop scrolling. The second thing,
please.
Yes, please.
Would it be like, for example, for the expedition we're doing now, a good idea if we want to tell something or so, if you film yourself to say, you should watch this, or you should listen to what I'm going to do now, or something? Is it a good idea to start a video like this by filming yourself and then telling a story to make people listen and interested?
So this is, for example, what you're referring to is a catch. It's called a catch. So it's basically telling people why. Example. Here is something I bet you didn't know about the Arctic. Or here is why. Or I'm going to tell you a secret. Anything along these lines that is very catchy works perfect, because even if you're talking to people who already know it, they would stay and watch what you're saying, whether they agree with you, because now you're giving an opinion, right? They would stay and watch what you're saying, what you think, and whether they actually want to reply to that. Or saying like, here are 3 things. And then you start listing things. And people are like, okay, I know the first one. Let me see if I know the second one. Okay, I know the second one. Do I know the third one? So this is something that makes people watch to the end, is one thing, but also it grabs the attention. So if you manage to address a problem in the very first sentence, no one cares who you are, what your name is, or any of that. You are talking to an audience and you want to solve something for them, whether it's their entertainment need, or whether it's information they want to get, or whether it's a problem you've identified. And
can you use this for either stories and reels, or would you only prefer one of these? Or it's viable for both?
So for stories, I would say these are people who are already following you, and they are not as fast moving as reels. With reels, you really scroll through everything. There's a cat, then there's a samba dancer, then they're racing cars, someone doing a backflip on their ski. There are like a million things going on. It's you actually really need to see it in that way, because when we create content and we have an idea of something, a nice message that we want to say, this somehow gets forgotten. That your content is going to be in between these millions of reels coming out. So you want to include something like something really catchy or something very shocking. Facts, shocking facts, and especially the content with facts works very well, because this provokes a discussion. So when you say, I'm going to tell you 3 facts, or I'm going to tell you something that you didn't know, or did you know, starting the video like that, its natural curiosity makes people stop and listen. While in stories, you have more, let's say, more time to communicate, because these are people who already follow you for some sort of reason. They started following you from your feed. They started following you because they saw a photo or a video that they like. So the stories are a bit more personal and they go a bit slower. They are definitely super strong communication tool, because there you can pack more information. You can, or not more information, but you make it a bit more personal, and people feel more engaged with that content, and they're watching this much more deliberately than scrolling through things.
Thank you.
So back to our goals. Something people tend to forget when creating content is that you're creating content for strangers. For something to go viral, for something to have a big impact. And I'm not saying that small impact doesn't matter, and that if you have an influence over 10 people, this is already amazing, because smaller accounts with smaller influence are much more personal, and people listen to that much more and much more engaged. But if you want to expand more on that, the one thing you really need to remember is that you are creating content for strangers, for someone who is just randomly on the internet. So our task from this trip, or I take this as a very, very personal task on our expedition, is how do we communicate the message of climate crisis, of what's going on in the Arctic? How do I communicate it to someone who cares to just listen, to just watch people dance on the internet? Like, how can I take the visuals and the message and slap it in someone's face and tell them that this is something actually very important and make them curious. And what can I use to make these strangers listen to me? And I keep saying, so yes, social media is very funny and very entertaining, but when you actually want to use it for a cause, it needs to be used very strategically, and it's extremely powerful. I would very much encourage you to afterwards look through the presentation again when you're doing your content and work with a plan. And actually write down all these things, what it is exactly you want to achieve and what's the message you want to communicate. And then think it through and see, am I actually going by the action plan that is, let's say, proven that works. Another thing you want to include in your content, one way or another, is encourage people to comment or let them vote or have a way of starting a discussion. And people love talking about themselves. People love talking about their own experiences. So when you share something about yourself or an experience or your knowledge or whatever it is, the easiest way to get a conversation going is to include, is to tell people, or to just tell people, we're starting a discussion now. And tell them, I want to know about you. What is it that you like? What is it that you know? What is your opinion on the matter? What do you do about it? So, for example, I don't know, here are 3 things I do to live a more sustainable life. Or here are 3 things that give me, here are 3 things that I do for the planet. Whatever it is, however it is you want to phrase it, start a discussion. What is it that you do? And being very open and not saying, okay, I know it all and I'm going to tell you how to do it, makes you much more accessible to people and much more relatable. So, and people are always happy to give advice. So you can just say, here's how I do it. How do you do it? Or here is what I know. What are your thoughts on it? Or what do you know about it? And this makes the whole content very interesting because people love engaging in the comments. And when you produce good content, something that you can see is that people engage with each other, not only with you. Like, people go and read other people's comments and start commenting on it, and there are these whole big discussions. Then moving on, the next thing you want to include in your content, and ideally you have all of these things in one piece of content, is an element which will make people save it. Save your content or share it with their friends. Now, going back to analyzing how you use social media, see what you save. People usually save useful content like, I don't know, recipes or do-it-yourself things, or something which is important information which they can use for later. If you're giving people instructions on, or you're inspiring them in something, on something, they tend to save it or share it with their friends. And having this element is extremely crucial to spreading a message, because then it's not only you trying to spread that message, is this generical growth and this spreading of word, because you created something very nice and very meaningful. And lastly, to build your presence, don't forget to tell people why they should follow you. So someone comes across your content and gets engaged because you created something amazing, and then they keep on scrolling. You want to actually, apart from having stopped them once, tell them in the caption, I produce content like this. This is not a, this is a real account. It's not a collection of nice content which has been collected from other users on the internet. It's a genuine account. Follow me because I share content about this and that, or follow me because I can teach you something, or follow me to get more inspiration on whatever topic. So these are the key things, And I've taken here on this screenshot that you see in the presentation on the side. You need to start looking at as you start doing posting online, you want to go and look into the statistics. And it doesn't matter if you have a very big reach or a smaller reach, you want to look at the statistics nonetheless, because you want to see what performs well on your account. You want to see what people saved, what people send to each other. Okay, now you can't see it on the screenshot, but usually you can see it on the side, like how many times has this been shared and what got the most comments. You also have this page which ranks your best content. So this is a very good indicator of what has worked well. So this is something you want to do more of. Then go and analyze it and see, okay, what elements have I included? Okay, this worked very well. I can replicate it. Moving on. Yes, I already touched more or less on the planning strategically. Really, this is something to be taken very seriously. And once you do that, the frustration is gone. The frustration of putting a lot of time into creating something for social media and then not getting the desired response, this drops down dramatically. You want to, once you have something ready and you want to post it, I would very much encourage you to actually go back to the list and see, hey, are my first 3 seconds very strong? Am I making them stop scrolling? Is the viewer going to engage? Are they going to save it for some reason? Is the whole video on itself very strong? And cut out everything that does not bring value. Attention span is so short. People see so many things. Most of them have very big, even production budgets because social media is so big. But once you do this in a very structured and strategic way, and you have lined out what it is you want to communicate, how it is you want to communicate it, cutting it down, narrowing it only to the highlight, is going to really boost your online presence and really amplify the effect of what it is that you're trying to say and the message you want to communicate. So yeah, reevaluating your ideas, crucial. Maybe even send it to a few friends before posting it and say, hey, tell me what you think. Do you actually understand it the way I have recorded it or the way I have structured the whole thing? So that's it on the theory for now. We can open a round of questions, and then I also have an initiative which I would like to start afterwards. So, questions?
That is very, very educational. I think that, I can see how you have structured all your posts and how you have get all the millions and 100,000 of attention on your posts. It's all very well planned and structured. But how much time do you spend in, say, each post you do? How much time do you spend in planning it and actually recording it? I mean, what are your pathway to each of your posts?
So this is actually part of our homework. You need to get into the momentum. So it's about, everything is about idea generation and also being inspired yourself. If you have to do social media just as a must and something that you want to do, which I don't think is the case with everyone participating today and everyone watching the recording, it gets very tedious. So you need to get in the mindset. Okay, I'm going to actually go into the homework because this is something I think would help everyone and also answer your question, Michael. What I do is I know what my upcoming projects are, and I know what things I need to create campaigns for or videos. So I would do 2 things. One is deliberately sit down and think what are the key points I can communicate here. So if it's for, let's take the most difficult one. If it's for insurance, which is not a sexy topic at all. If it's for insurance, what are the topics I can address? So I sit down, it will take me maybe half an hour to 1 hour to generate a very big list. So I sit down in front of my computer and I actually do research. So I start by typing, okay, topics. So first of all, everything brainstorming off the top of my head. What are all the pain points for insurance? So I list down all the pain points. Then I start doing a bit of research on the site to maybe read a few articles to just get some more ideas. So I have a very long list of ideas. Then this is step one. Step two is actually getting inspiration from social media. And I try to get inspiration from everything that I like. So I'm not narrowing it down to actually now go and do specific research on social media or to check for keywords or to check for hashtags. What I do is I just scroll, but very deliberately time boxed. I tell myself, okay, I'm now going to have 30 minutes or 1 hour where I am deliberately searching for content, other content, which is going to help me create content for my topic at hand. So, for example, for big A's, let's think climate crisis. So I would go now online, and I would encourage everyone to do that. We're going to follow up with a small email of this exercise. So let's think climate crisis. So I would go online, time box myself, and see what photos or videos I saw which triggered something in me. I would save everything to one folder. So when you save your things, when you save posts, you now have the option to create folders. And I think this is very important because you're likely to save other stuff as well that you see. But I would encourage you to create for yourself a big A's folder and put there anything that in one way or another touched you or moved you or gave you even the most distant idea of something which you can use. Now, whether it's an audio, whether you saw a visual hook, whether it's something someone said, like how the video started, how the video ended, where it's like you're collecting ideas of small little things that you like, or maybe you see a video which you like completely. It's like, okay, I'm taking this and I'm copying it in my own style and in my own words, and of course in a different setting, because this is something that you see that works, because you can see on the side if it went viral or not, you can see the views. And the most important thing to this exercise is to stay focused. Swipe away anything that doesn't catch your attention immediately. Swipe away anything that is completely irrelevant. In that way, you're also going to teach the algorithm what it is you're looking for and what it is you're interested in. And you're going to be much more productive and not waste time watching every single thing. So if it doesn't catch you, if it's not on the topic, if you need to, on the side, write on a piece of paper, climate crisis next to your phone, so that you remember what you're scrolling for, because it gets very easy to get lost in all the posts. So this is the first exercise you need to do. And this is not something, it can be something which gives you 10 different ideas, or maybe the first day you do it, it doesn't give you a single idea. Don't sweat about it. It's an exercise which the more you do, the more focused you are on it. And then this happens automatically. Right now, for me, is whenever I scroll through something, I see ideas which I like. I'm like, okay, this I can use for a course video. This I can use for insurance. This is great for conservation. This relates to sharks. This is something which is very touching and dramatic, and I like the way it's done, so it can be used to catch people's attention when we talk about icebergs, for example. So I would say the most important thing is planning, and especially when we go on an expedition which is packed packed. The days are full. There are so many things going on. You want to have a plan before that, and just a few ideas which you want to try and execute. And I would very much encourage you to already start doing these things and film a few things and just be comfortable with everything that involves the creation of a video. Of course, Michael, the more you do it, the quicker you get at it. The videos that I do sometimes require, sometimes I have an idea and I only manage to execute it a year later. Sometimes I have an idea on the spot and I manage to execute it. Either works, but I think the thing that works best is really working in a strategic way and having a small plan. Being like, these are the topics I want to cover, and ideally these are the things that I want to shoot. If you don't have 1,000 ideas for our expedition, don't worry. We're gonna have templates, and we're gonna have in the next workshops, we're gonna have templates, and we're gonna have these very easy steps of just things you can do and how to get started, and things where you actually don't need to, how should I say, use your brain to get a post. We're gonna have these things, but for now, the idea is to actually get in the mindset of understanding how social media works. And I said the main homework would be making yourself a folder of things which you think are super cool. And I would also like to create a small group on Instagram where we can exchange some ideas. And it's probably mainly going to be me at the beginning sending you a few things where you're going to understand better. For example, what I'm saying right now, like, for example, I like this video because, and the most important thing is to also put some sort of note to it. Like, why did you send this? What is it exactly that you like? Because these things get lost, of course. And then you just look back to your own folder and see, okay, these are the things I like. These are the things I shared. How can we use this? So it doesn't need to be ultra time consuming, but unfortunately it gets very overwhelming and it can be time consuming.
I think in this context of because time is of essence here, and we don't have a lot of time, especially during the expedition. But I think before the expedition is to we have 70, 80 people, 90 people on board. If we can get everyone to create a couple of posts about the excitement, why they're going on expedition, what they hope to see, what's exciting that excite them to go on this trip, whether it's be it polar bear, be it walruses, be it puffins, whatever excite them of the Arctic. I think that is would be quite interesting in a sense that to create interest among their peers, among their friends, that they look forward to seeing this, and then they actually go there and seeing it, and then in real time post what they've seen during the expedition. But before the expedition, I think we should encourage everyone to create a couple of posts about why they're going and what they hope to see. I think. Do you think that is a good idea?
Absolutely. I think this is a marvelous way to get the conversation going, and especially building this anticipation, saying like, I am now preparing to go to the Arctic. I think all of us, we're already in this mindset. So we know we're doing it, we're going there, but this is actually something very big. And sometimes when you're very much involved in these trips or expeditions or whatever it is you're doing, even if it's your daily life, we tend to forget that this is something extremely new to other people, and they don't even know the slightest bit about it. So not only saying why you're excited, but just maybe also like, this can be one topic. Another topic you could do is, okay, how am I preparing for this trip? This is not a walk in the park. This is very harsh conditions. What it is that I'm doing for this trip, and just taking your viewers along on your journey, because the journey definitely begins much before stepping foot there, is very interesting and very engaging. And I would definitely encourage everyone to create a few of these posts and share them. I think this would be a super nice way for creating our own small community beforehand and exchanging on that, but also very good practice for whether you're going to be in front of the camera or whether you're going to be showing what you're packing, or whether you want to just do it with some images and the text on screen. Whatever format you pick, this is a super nice exercise, and we have the luxury of being able to share this with each other and get some feedback. And I am super happy to also see your posts and see your videos, even if you want, before posting them, and give you some feedback. This is, I would say, one of my main two roles, is to actually help you get the frustration away and encourage you to produce content and get your voice out there.
Yeah, I think flying into Longyearbyen itself is really exciting, because it's furthest up north a commercial jetliner can fly into, and one landing at the airport, the Arctic is right in front of the high Arctic is right in front of you. These are little things that people can prep and also put on the list, that they can plan footages or plan video. They can plan on seeing the first glaciers up there. I think there's a few things you can put on a template that everybody can plan their post. Yeah. Yes,
absolutely. I don't know if you saw what I did just now, and I hope no one minds. I just took a photo of myself with the screen, because this is something very nice I can use as a story, something that's actually going on at the moment, and this is something I'm going to post and start the conversation. So what I did today we had this super nice workshop about using social media and talk more about the expedition.
Yeah.
So even these
on the day that we arrive in Longyearbyen, we're going to try to bring everybody to the Doomsday Vault, and we hear about that, and those are little things that we can put on their agenda. They can post when they get there, standing in front of the Doomsday Vault as well. Yeah.
Yes, but as I said, it does already remember that even the small things from your everyday life and your excitement about the trip and about the mission and everything that moves you, you can find a way to put the message in a catchy little video. And you don't need to start with a 1-minute video. It can just be 10 seconds. I super strongly encourage you to practice. And please reach out to me. I reply. I read every single message that I get, and I reply quite promptly. So I am happy to help you also with the production of your videos. Or if you see something that you like very much and you don't know how it's done, send it to me. Maybe I can give you a bit of insights.
Fantastic. All right. Yeah, we're also gonna package in a folder of all the stories on the Arctic and also Antarctic, and also based on climate change, and also lovely good stories as well from the region that everybody will have access to for informations. And some of them may be ours, and some of them may be not even ours. We'll put that and get it out there and share with everybody, so everybody can have access to those informations.
That's great. That's very nice. Any other questions? Everyone is overwhelmed by the amount of information.
I guess so. So I think what we need to do.
I have a really quick question, actually. Isidora, thank you so much for the presentation, and I'm sorry I'm outside, so it's a bit windy. when you were introducing the different types of social media, you didn't mention Twitter, X, or Blue Sky or anything like this. And I just wondered, is that intentional, or is that like a platform you think we should or should not be using? Just your views on that.
I think every social media should be used whatever lies close to your heart. It's something that can be utilized. I specialize in video content mainly, which is why I take Instagram as an example. But generally, all social media works the same, especially for also the tweets and all this. It's a lot of information coming at you. So whether it's a visual hook or just a verbal hook, the idea is the same. You want to catch people's attention. So it's not going to be with what the photo is or what the video is. It's going to be about your interaction with people and your first 3 words.
Okay. So, based on this, I think what we're trying to get at is that everybody, if they have their own social media account, whatever they create should post to their own social media account. If they haven't got one and they'd like to create one, maybe they can write to you or write to have a session on creating their own social media account on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook or TikTok, whatever. But they should post to their own if they have their own. But what we have is that we're going to get you and Melissa is going to collect all the content on a daily basis and put it in a folder, and then maybe we post it, send it back to a base. There'll be someone on base that will upload to Ocean Geographic site as well, and also onto right now as we speak, we are creating an app. A friend of us is creating an app for Big A's, so whereby all the content will be kept on this app itself for future reference, and also for future reference to this app. But you'll also be posted to Ocean Geographic and also the Climate Adventure site as well. So that's what we hope to do.
And one thing, one thing I also wanted to mention is, if at any point you are stuck with something technical, and this is something that I sometimes forget and I waste time, the internet has an answer to everything. Just Google it. Something doesn't work, Google it. It gives you, within 2 seconds, you have a full tutorial of how do I fix my profile bio? How do I do this? How do I do that? How do I add a photo? For all these technical things, don't forget to ask the internet. There is a very concise snippet just giving you 3 steps. It's remove this whole frustration and struggle of trial and error, and this doesn't work and that doesn't work. All the information is there. Really, don't forget to Google stuff.
Or
there's an answer to everything.
It's also very good.
Sorry, what?
Or ChatGPT it. I'm using this more and more for more complicated questions.
Yeah, ChatGPT, AI, whatever it is, Mr. Google.
It makes you fast. It really makes you fast, and it saves you a lot of time.
All right, thank you, Isidora. Thank you so much. That's very educational, and I think it's very inspiring. That I think it's a resource that everybody can tap into, and then we'll figure out the next session soon. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Yes. Thank you so much for being part of this.
Good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are, as I always say.
Many thanks.
Thank you for taking the time. I will be creating a group on Instagram. I know Ruth is collecting everyone's tags. I don't have them yet, but I would be very happy if you connect with me on Instagram already. Just send me a small message with your name, and I would be sure to add you to the group.
Right. Ruth will share your details on her next update.
Yes, of course. They're there, and everything is going to follow up also via email with the recording and everything else. But yeah, I'm happy to connect, and thank you so much for participating.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good night. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.